Salam, peace be upon you. My name is Muhammad Laik Siddiqui, the father of Holophase. The Story of Change, Part 17. Why does branching appear? Where we are. Let us take a slow breath and remember where we are. We have been building something careful. We started with a cup. The cup was whole. Then the cup was broken. Everyone saw it happen. But we refused to say, time passed, so it changed. That felt too easy, too magical, too hard for strangers to check. Instead, we built folders called state packages. Each folder holds a snapshot of something at one moment. What we looked at, how we looked, what we are allowed to claim, how uncertain we honestly are, and a trail so anyone can repeat our looking. Then we built receipts called update certificates. These receipts prove that one folder legally leads to another folder. They pass through 8 gates, like 8 checkpoints. If a receipt fails a gate, we do not accept it. We write a refusal certificate instead and put it in a special drawer called the negative archive, so we remember what did not work. Then we built an immune system. If we discover an old receipt was wrong, we revoke it. And we revoke everything that depended on it. We call this a revocation dossier. Then we built a graph. Dots are folders, lines are receipts. The whole drawing is called graph G sub U. We said, a universe is not a place. It is a connected record. Then we built order, not from clocks, from chains. We said, S1 comes before S2 if you can walk from the first folder to the second folder by stepping along receipt lines. Then we built propagation limits. We said, a change can only spread along paths that have legal receipts with open gates. No distance, no speed, only connectivity and permission. Then we built transformers. We said, a law is not an equation on paper. A law is a registered machine that turns one folder into another. Every transformer lives in a public registry with its full declaration. Then we built composition. We said, we can put transformers together in a chain, but only if the types match and all gates still pass. Then we built conservation. We said, a quantity is conserved under a family of transformers if every valid receipt in that family shows it stays the same, within uncertainty. Then we built interaction. We said, two things interact when you cannot split the change into separate receipts for each thing. Interaction is certified non-factorization. Then we built equations. We said, equations are not assumed. They are what remains after all illegal updates are refused. Equations are survival conditions. Now we have many folders, many receipts, many transformers, many families, many patterns of what changes, what stays the same, what is tied together, and what must be true for change to happen at all. And now we face a new question, a question that touches something deep. Why do some moments have more than one possible next step? The opening scene, the fork in the path. Imagine you are walking in a forest. You come to a place where the path splits. One path goes left toward the river. One path goes right toward the hill. One path goes straight toward the meadow. Which way do you go? You do not know. You cannot see far enough. The trees block your view. The paths look similar from here. So you stand at the fork and you have many possible next steps. That is branching. In our world, we call this the branch set. It is the set of all possible next folders that can legally come from this folder. But here is the key. Branching is not magic. It is not mystery. It is not the universe making choices. Branching happens because we cannot see everything, because our knowledge is limited, because our ceilings are finite, and our uncertainty is real. The big idea here is what we discover. Branching is not mysticism. It is what happens when certification cannot uniquely continue. Spoken slowly. Multiple lawful futures appear because we cannot certify infinite detail. Every folder has a ceiling and max. That is how deep we can see into the details. Every folder has an uncertainty U. That is how much we admit we do not know exactly. When ceilings are low and uncertainty is high, many different next folders might all be legal. They all pass the gates. They all could be the next step. We cannot say which one will happen. We can only list the ones that are possible. That list is the branch set. The blurry photo example. Imagine you take a photo of a bird flying. The photo is blurry. You cannot see the bird's markings clearly. From that photo, you try to guess what kind of bird it is. Maybe it is a sparrow. Maybe it is a finch. Maybe it is something else. All are possible given the blurry photo. The photo is like a folder with a low ceiling. It does not have enough detail to tell you exactly which bird. The different guesses are like branches. They are all possible next folders that could come from this one. But the branching is not in the bird. The bird is whatever it is. The branching is in our knowledge. Because we cannot see clearly, many possibilities remain open. The important turn. Now we say something that sounds strange at first, but becomes obvious. The future does not branch. Our certification branches. The world, whatever it is, does one thing. But we, with our limited windows and finite ceilings, cannot always tell what that one thing will be. So we must list all the things it could be, given what we know. That list is the branch set. And it is honest. It does not pretend to know more than it does. The dice roll example. Imagine rolling a die. You hold it in your hand. You have not thrown it yet. What number will come up? You do not know. You cannot know. The die is in your hand. The future is not written. But you can list the possibilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the branch set. 6 possible next folders, each with a different number. Now imagine you have a high-speed camera. You could track the die as it falls. You could measure its spin, its position, its speed. With enough detail, you might predict the exact number. That would be a higher ceiling. More detail, smaller branch set. Branching shrinks as ceilings rise. The branch set definition. Now we give it a name. The branch set B of S is the set of all folders S prime such that there exists a valid update certificate from S to S prime. In simple words, it is all the possible next steps from this folder that are legal under the rules. Every folder has a branch set. Sometimes it has one member, only one possible next step. Sometimes it has many. The size of the branch set depends on the ceiling and max, how much detail we have, the uncertainty, U, how much we admit we do not know, the transformer family, what kinds of changes are allowed, the adjacency types, what connections are possible. If we know a lot and are very certain, the branch set may be small. If we know little and are uncertain, the branch set may be large. The maze example. Imagine a maze. You are at an intersection. You cannot see what is down each path. From here, you have 3 possible paths. All are open. All could lead somewhere. That is your branch set. 3 possibilities. Now imagine you climb a tall ladder. From the top, you can see the whole maze. You see the 2 paths lead to dead ends. Only one path leads out. Your branch set shrinks to 1. Not because the maze changed, because your ceiling got higher. You could see more. That is exactly how branching works in our world. Why branching is not mysticism? Some people think branching means the universe is uncertain, that reality itself splits into many worlds. We do not say that. We say our knowledge is limited. Our measurements have ceilings. Our predictions have uncertainty. So, from where we stand, many next steps are possible. But the universe, whatever it is, does one thing. We just cannot always know which one until we get more information. Branching is about certification, not about reality. The 2 kinds of branching. Now we discover something important. There are 2 ways branching can happen. First, branching from low ceilings. This is like the blurry photo. We do not have enough detail to tell which bird it is. So many birds are possible. If we could see more detail, if we had a higher ceiling, the branch set would shrink. Second, branching from genuine alternatives. Sometimes 2 different next steps are both possible, even with perfect information. The die could come up 1 or 2 or 3. Even if we knew everything, the outcome might still be undetermined until it happens. This is deeper. It means some processes are genuinely not determined by what came before. But even here, branching is not magic. It is just a property of the transformer family. Some transformers produce one output. Some produce many. The recipe example. Imagine a recipe for soup. The recipe says, add salt to taste. What does that mean? It means many different amounts of salt are acceptable. The soup could be a little salty or a little bland and still be considered good soup. So from the state uncooked ingredients, the transformer cook soup has many possible outputs, different salt amounts, all legal. That is branching. The recipe does not determine the exact amount. So many next folders are possible. If the recipe said add exactly 1 teaspoon of salt, the branch set would shrink to 1. The branch set interface. Now we build something new, the branch set interface. For every folder S, we can ask, what is b.s? What are the possible next steps? To answer, we must declare which transformer family we are considering, declare which adjacency types are allowed, enumerate all possible next folders that pass the gates, check that they are truly distinct, not just the same folder with different labels. 5. Record the enumeration procedure so anyone can replay it. This becomes a public object. Anyone can look at the branch set for a folder. Anyone can check if a candidate next folder belongs to it. The distinctness rule. Now a very important point. When we list branches, they must be truly different. If 2 possible next folders are equivalent within uncertainty, if they are the same for all practical purposes, they do not count as separate branches. We must check equivalence. If S'1 and S'2 are the same within uncertainty, they are not distinct. The branch set has 1 member, not 2. This stops fake multiplicity. It stops people from claiming branching where none exists. The enumeration procedure. How do we find all branches? We cannot just guess. We must have a procedure. For a given folder S and transformer family F, We try to construct all possible outputs that satisfy the adjacency requirements, the transformer's input types, the gate constraints, and the uncertainty bounds. We do this systematically. We log each attempt. If we succeed, we add the output to the branch set. If we fail, we record why. At the end, we have a list. That list is B of S. The procedure itself becomes part of the audit trail. Anyone can check if we missed a branch. Anyone can try to find one we overlooked. The river crossing example. Imagine a river. You are on one bank. You want to cross. There is a bridge upstream. There is a ferry downstream. You could swim across in the middle. From your position, 3 ways to cross are possible. That is your branch set. Now imagine someone says, there is a 4th way. You could fly. But you have no wings. That is not a legal branch. It would fail the gates. The enumeration procedure must only list legal branches, real possibilities, not fantasies. The predictions. Now we make predictions, not prophecies. Predictions like receipts, things we can check. Prediction 1. For any folder S and transformer family F, the branch set BS can be enumerated by a systematic procedure. The size of BS depends on ceilings and uncertainty. Prediction 2. If we raise the ceiling, add more detail, the branch set may shrink. It will never grow. Prediction 3. If 2 possible next folders are equivalent within uncertainty, they count as one branch, not 2. Prediction 4. Branching is not about reality splitting. It is about what we can certify from a given folder. Prediction 5. The branch set is public. Anyone can check it. Anyone can try to find a missing branch or a fake branch. These are simple. They can be tested. They can be audited. The failure signatures. Now we list the ways branching claims can fail. Each failure produces a refusal certificate that goes into the negative archive. Failure 1. Fake multiplicity. Someone claims many branches, but the candidates are equivalent within uncertainty. They are really the same folder. Refused. Failure 2. Missing branch. Someone claims a branch set, but another team finds a legal branch not on the list. The enumeration was incomplete. Failure 3. Overclaim. Someone claims only one branch, determinism, but another team finds a second legal branch. The claim is false. Failure 4. Ceiling ignored. Someone claims branching without considering that higher ceilings might shrink the set. They must report the ceiling used. Failure 5. Uncertainty ignored. Someone claims branches without accounting for uncertainty. 2 folders that look different might be equivalent within error. Failure 6. Procedure missing. Someone lists branches but does not provide the enumeration procedure. Others cannot check. Refused. Failure 7. Transformer family missing. Someone lists branches but does not say which transformer family they used. Branching depends on the family. Refused. Failure 8. Adjacency ignored. Someone lists branches but does not consider adjacency requirements. Some paths might not be legally reachable. The child who understands. Imagine a child listening to this story. The child says, "So branching is like when I come to a fork in the path and don't know which way to go?" And we say, "Yes. From where you stand, many paths are possible. That is your branch set." The child says, "But if I climb a tree and look, I might see which path is best?" And we say, yes, higher ceiling, more detail, smaller branch set. The child says, so branching is not about the world being weird. It's about me not knowing enough. And we say, yes, that is exactly it. The world does one thing. But we, with our limited view, cannot always tell what that one thing will be. So we list what it could be. The child says, and if two paths lead to the same place, they are not really different branches? And we say, yes. If the destinations are the same within uncertainty, they count as one branch. No fake multiplicity. The child says, and we have to write down how we found the branches so others can check? And we say, yes. The enumeration procedure must be public. Anyone can try to find a branch we missed. The child thinks, so branching is just honesty about what we don't know? And we say, yes, that is the best way to say it. The forest at the end. Remember the forest path? You stood at the fork, 3 ways forward. You did not know which one would lead where. That is your branch set. 3 possibilities. Now imagine you meet someone who has walked all 3 paths. They tell you, the left path goes to the river. The right path goes to the hill. The middle path goes to the meadow. Your branch set is still 3, but now you know what each branch means. You can choose based on where you want to go. That is the power of the branch set. It does not tell you what will happen, it tells you what can happen. It lists the possibilities so you can see them clearly. The branch enumeration logs. Now we have something new in our notebook, branch enumeration logs. For each folder S and transformer family F, we record the ceiling Nmax used, the uncertainty U used, the enumeration procedure, all candidate branches found, distinctness proofs showing they are truly different, links to the update certificates that would realize each branch, the date of enumeration. These logs are public. Anyone can check them. Anyone can try to find a new branch. If one is found, we update the log. The branch ledger. We also keep a branch ledger linked to update certificates. When an actual update happens, when we move from S to an actual S prime, we record which branch was taken. This is not a prediction. It is a record. Over time, we can see patterns. Maybe some branches are taken more often than others. Maybe some are never taken at all. But we do not assume, we just record. The main lesson. Let us say it one more time, in the simplest words we can find. Branching is what happens when we cannot certify a unique next step. From where we stand, many paths may be possible. That is the branch set. It is not magic. It is not the universe splitting. It is honesty about what we know and what we do not know. If we know more, higher ceiling, lower uncertainty, the branch set shrinks. If we know less, lower ceiling, higher uncertainty, the branch set grows. That is all. What branching is not. Now we say what branching is not. Branching is not mysticism. The world does not split into many worlds. Our certification does. Branching is not permanent. As ceilings rise, branch sets shrink. Branching is not random. The branches are determined by the transformer family and the gates, not by chance. Branching is not a choice. The branch set lists possibilities. It does not say which one will happen. The blurry photo at the end. Remember the blurry photo of the bird? From that photo, many birds were possible. Sparrow, finch, something else. That was your branch set. Now imagine you get a better camera. You take a clear photo. Now you see, it is a sparrow. The branch set shrinks to 1. Not because the bird changed, because your knowledge improved. That is branching in our world. Not mystery, just honesty about limited vision. What comes next? Now we have branching. We have a way to talk about multiple possible next steps. We have branch sets, enumeration procedures, distinctness checks, and logs. Next, we will ask, how do we choose between branches? How do we know which one will actually happen? How do we handle situations where no branch is possible? Those are for later parts. For now, we rest here. We have branching from finite ceilings, not mysticism, just honest limits on what we can know. And we built it all from one simple idea. Multiple lawful futures appear because we cannot certify infinite detail. That is part 17. That is why branching appears. That is our story so far. Always, peace be upon you.